I guess it looks like what you want one?
What?
You want one?
No.
One?
I was like, no.
These are ballerina.
Alright, we'll save these for tomorrow, guys.
There is no tomorrow.
I put tomorrow there. I didn't put tomorrow. Yeah, it's just a- Very well.
1977.
So salty on my fly. Like I can feel like a tear welling up in my eye.
What?
Oh, she knows you. You got your notes under radicals, I think. Probably should have thought this through, maybe if you could stop crinkling your bags while I'm recording this, for the people who are not here. And for all posterity. I think you'll like this. Actually, I'm sure you won't. I gotta say that. Zero. Hines, I've noticed again here, seem to be tilted in the wrong direction. But what lesson are you on? Ah, oh, wait a minute. This doesn't seem right. Yes, under, what did I say? Radical. Radicals. What are radicals, you ask? You shouldn't have to ask, because you know them. Here we go, ready? This is, actually, what's the subheading? Subheading is multiplying them. Eloise, what was that? Crazy over there. We will do some examples, you will understand it, everybody will be happy. Now, take a look, see here. What if you have the square root of 8 times the square root of 2? Please know, ladies and gentlemen, you can multiply radicals together. If this was adding, I cannot add those together because they're not like radicals, just like terms, because you have to both be x's. Okay, now let me give you this thought process. Some of you will catch this, some of you won't. Okay, square root of 2 times the square root of 8 is multiplying the square root of 16. And that's pretty easy because there is a square root of 16, which is 4. Congratulations, you've now solved that problem. That's not bad, right? Now, well, let me give you another one. What is the square root of, let's do it when there's a number out front. 6 times the square root of 2 times 4 times the square root of 3. Say it, Roland. Yeah, you can multiply. When you multiply kind of the like things together. Normal number times normal number is 24. Square root of 2 times the square root of 3 is square root of 6. Now here's where I have to caution you. Your radical always must be simplified if it can be. Okay, the square root of 6 can't be simplified because you know it was 2 prime numbers multiplied by them. But there's going to be times when it can be. Are you ready for that? Here we go. Problem number 3. the 2 times the square root of 6x times the square root of 4x. Which, if you multiply them, the whole numbers, 2 times 1 is still 2. Inside the radical, you end up with 6 times 4, 24x squared. Now, unfortunately, you did that right up to that point, but you couldn't leave that as the answer because 24 can be simplified as can x squared. So for those of you that need things kind of in its basic form here, I need to break this all down into what times what gives me all that. But don't forget this 2 is still on the outside somewhere. So 24 breaks down into, at some point, ladies and gentlemen, it's my thought that you can like do a couple of these steps in a row. In other words, 24 is 8 times 3, is it not? And 8 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. This multiplied together gives you 24, correct? Then I have 2 x's times themselves. So what is that? When the smoke clears on that, what am I going to be left with, Evan Sittler? When the smoke clears and I cross off what I can, what am I going to be left with? Well, you're looking for pairs. This crosses off and gives me a normal 2. There's no other 2's, there's no other 3's. This crosses off and gives me a normal x. So I take the normal numbers, 2 times 2 is 4. I still have that x out there. And then what's left under the radical is the square root of 6, which doesn't simplify. Are you with me on that? Now, let me throw this at you, ladies and gentlemen. You've kind of done some unnecessary steps somewhere. Does anybody know where, David? Anybody? So,
Have we wrote out everything?
well, yeah, but see if you can understand this. I actually multiplied these together only to have to break them apart again. So you could save yourself a little time and still write stuff out by saying this. Well, I know I'm going to have to factor this out. I don't have to multiply them together to factor them out again. I could say that the square root of 6x is the square root of 2 times the square root of 3 times the square root of x. And 4x is the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 times the square root of x. You could get to this step right off the bat rather than multiplying it and then breaking it down, because you're multiplying anyways, you're breaking it down. You could do it. Does that make sense, anybody? If that don't make no sense, by all means, just do this and then break it down. But if you can see that since you're just breaking it down anyways, why multiply? Now, here comes the big part that would confuse. This would amaze, oh wait, no, sorry, not yet. Let's do this. Square root, example number 4. Who's 4 or 3? It is 4. 3 plus the square root of 6. What property am I going to use? Yeah, and what happens when I do the distributive? Square root of 2 times 3 is 3 times the square root of 2. Square root of 2 times the square root of 6 is the square root of 12. However, what is going to happen there? Benjamin, what's going to happen here? Can't do anything with this, can I? But this one here is the square root of 4 times the square root of 3, which would mean it would simplify to what, Sophia? Sorry to catch you mid-yawn.
2, 3.
These two give you a normal 2. The 3 doesn't have a pal. Can I add anything together there? Can I combine those? No, because it has to be the same square root. So this is as simplified. Example number 5. Ready? You'll like this one. How about this? 4 plus the square root of 9, times 2 minus the square root of 6. who's got something for me on that? What do you suppose? Amelia? You will use foil, thank you. Rats foiled again, as they say. So the same thing holds true here. The two first terms times themselves, what's 4 times 2? 8. Then I have the two outside terms, which is -4 times the square root of 6. Stop me if you don't know where that came from. 4 times the square root of 6. What's my next term gonna be if I multiply the two inside terms together?
18.
What's that? 2 times the square root of 9 is
2.
2 times the square root of 9. And then my last term will be square root of 9 times the square root of 6. Anybody? Square root of 54, thank you, whatever that was. Am I done? Somebody say no. These get a little tedious and work filled there. What can I do to this? Ava Russell, what can I do to this? I can't simplify. What can I simplify?
2 and 9.
Oh, by the way, there is a perfect square of 9, which is, well, this you could just cross off and say, well, 3 times 3 is 9, so, and then 3 times 2 is 6. Square root of 54, somebody? Nobody knows